What's up, YouTube? So last weekend I was out in Mississippi with the Tmaxx 3.3. This is an extended chassis Tmaxx. This is the one that I run all the time. I ran this one 3+ gallons last year, and this year we're at a little over half a gallon now. The season's just starting for me. I really don't run in the winter much. We had some good running. Unfortunately, the very first day that I got there, the very first run, I lost front wheel drive. Luckily, I had some spare parts. I had some rear drive shafts, and I fitted one of the rears onto the front. Unfortunately, the rear is missing these pins right here, which grip on the disc, so they spin the disc, and that's how you get your brakes. And so I used a rear on the front. I didn't have any brakes, so all the running video that you'll see is with no brakes. But we still kept it to the floor, and we're running it hard. We ran like a pint and a half. I did have some other things break right at the end. I did notice that my gear mesh was very loose, and since we landed it hard on its shell, and you can see here where the motor indents into the shell there, I was thinking that maybe the motor had shifted, but I took it out, and the bearings, well, the front bearing on the clutch bell was toasted. It was really loose, and then the rear one was pretty burnt up. So then I put new bearings in there. They're already installed. Also, last video of the night, it was getting real dark anyway, so it was really the last run of the night, and we really weren't sure if it had happened or not, but I lost second speed, so I took the transmission apart, and sure enough, a couple of the gears here, that one is toast, completely stripped, and the mating gear over here is completely stripped. I think more than anything it was just heat, because we were keeping it floored for tank after tank, and it's a big multi-acre property, so then we were just keeping it floored the whole time, and I think that it just got real hot in there. It was running like a champ. Anyway, so I'll just give you a little quick rundown on my Tmaxx here. This one here is the one that I run all the time. I do have a total of 6 Tmaxxes on the shelf. This one is the one that I always beat up on. This one here, I'll tell you what I've done to it. I've got big bore shocks on it because I like running heavier weight oil, and when I land on some of the bigger jumps, it was bending some of the stock shock shafts. So then I went ahead with the these are the metal body, and then they have the hardened shafts, so these have held up really well. I run 60 weight oil all around on this one. I like these hot racing shock towers because they allow me to run a little lower and still have full throw on the shocks. So basically, you can adjust your shock tower height, which is cool. It's something that I haven't seen on any other shock towers like that. So then also on this one, I also run RPM skids, front and rear and center. These help a lot. You can see how slick they are. All the sliding going on there. This one's got a big chunk missing on the corner here. This plastic is a lot tougher than the Tmaxx stock skids. I was always buying these. They're really cheap, but I was always buying them. I started getting the RPM skids for the other trucks when I put a new front skid on, and on the very first tank I ripped a whole corner of it off, so I was like, that's it, I'm gonna get the RPM skids. And if you match it with the RPM bumper, it creates a nice smooth surface here. They're like on the same level, so if you land nose heavy, it'll just slide right in. Also on this one, all my Traxxas vehicles, I always go to pull start. I don't run any of the easy starts. It's just another thing to break. And then also the weight is so at the worst spot. You got the little electric motor that sits right here. That is like the highest thing on this truck would be that little electric motor, and this is aluminum here, so this is light. But you have that heavy little motor, and then plus you got all the gears inside of that thing. So then, I mean, it adds quite a bit of weight, and you know, weight is not your friend on one of these trucks. So I'd rather use it on, for example, the RPM skids. You know, something that's beneficial. This thing usually starts in just a few pulls. So I mean, if it's not starting and I'm sitting there pulling it, it's the glow plug, fuel's not in the carburetor. You know, something's wrong. I don't keep pulling it, so I never have trouble with my pull starts. I mean, they last me a long time. And then I have tried to color match this truck a bit, so I've got the green hubs, I've got the green chassis supports there, I've got the green body. Okay, so I like the way it looks. This body's been really good. It was just a body that I'm not sure if it was made for the Tmaxx or not, but it was in a lot with some cars that I bought, and it's drilled for a different vehicle, but I fit it to the Tmaxx. It fits like a glove, sits real nice and low. Got some air vents in the front there. I haven't had any heating issues. Motor's been running good. One real cool upgrade. This is actually one of the most important upgrades that I've done to this truck, is actually the rear drive shaft. Last year I went through about 5 of these plastic shafts. These get really hot. This little metal knuckle in here gets really hot, and it starts warping the plastic, and it just breaks away. So then I asked the question on one of the Traxxas forums. One of the guys responded, I think his name was John, and he gave me part numbers. It's some Traxxas drive cups and HBI dog bone. That fits perfectly in here, and I feel a lot more confident that it's going to hold up. Although in this first quarter gallon of fuel that we burned in it, I don't know if it's going to show up on this camera, but I've got some flat spots there. Discoloration is really blackened on one side from the heat. Same on this side here. You know, look at all that wear. But at least I can tell when it's going to go out. You know, the plastic one looks fine 1 minute, and then I guess it gets hot or something and it just gives out. So at least this one here I can prepare and know roughly when it might go out. But anyway, this one's going to be out of the videos for a little bit until the gear for the transmission comes in, and then we'll start running this one again. Stay tuned. I've got more nitro content coming this year. I've got a lot of cars and trucks that I prepared over the winter, and I'm going to try to document them, get them on video, and share it with you guys. So today I ran a Losi Aftershock that I've owned for a really long time. I just recently swapped the motor on it because it had the 26 SS. It's a stock Aftershock engine, and that thing, I could not get it to idle well. Coming off of high RPM, it would idle really funny when it would come down. I've really messed with it a lot, so it either needs a new carburetor, because it's got plenty of power, it's got good pinch, it just doesn't idle well. So I'm going to look for a carburetor for it, but in the meantime I put a 32 size engine in there. It is a Racer's Edge 32, and I think it's very similar to the Axial 32 if I'm not mistaken. It looks like a same crankcase, same carburetor and all, so then I'm pretty sure it's probably made by the same company. So this is my Losi Aftershock that I was running today. Like I said, I just did a engine swap on it. Did the Racer's Edge 32. Yeah, I ran 3 tanks through it. It's running really good. It's coming off of high RPM, idling really well. So I'm really happy with the way this thing's running. So I'll have some videos of this up soon. This thing has awesome suspension. That's one of the things that I love about the Losi platform, is just how soft these big shocks feel. These are some huge shocks. That's compared to a Tmaxx shock. It's a pretty big difference. I mean, one's 8 scale, one's 10 scale, but still, Losi's known for these huge big bore shocks. So this one's got an upgraded pipe. This is Losi's high performance pipe, and that's about it on this guy. There's nothing else upgraded on it. I just run it pretty much stock. It's been a good truck, and I'm having fun with it, so we'll have some more videos on it soon. Please like and subscribe so that you can stay tuned when new videos release on my truck. So then this one here will be releasing soon. I've got some Savages. I've got Savage X, Savage XL. I recently did a video on the Savage 25. So then I'll be running them next to each other, comparing them. I've got buddies that they don't run nitro, and I'll have them run a nitro next to me, you know, one of my trucks, and we'll go out bashing. And I've got a few friends that do have some nitro vehicles, so we got some interesting stuff coming, guys. Hopefully I can post some videos more often. Winter time, like I said, I don't run much, and then I don't really like doing the bench videos. I think they're kind of boring, so I'd rather edit some videos of me running, going fast. Okay, thanks. It'll take it. Even when you're going out that way. That's cool. Yes.
Oh man. No. Ooh. Yeah, it sucks not having brakes, man. Come on, come on. Ooh. Yeah, hit this part of it over here. Oh. Try. Yep. I see what you want. Oh, out of fuel.
That's how you train your RC car.
Is that floored? There you go. Almost messed up the save. Ooh. Yeah. That's cool.
Trying to get used to the throttle now.
Let's keep it all the way down, man. Do some nice wide ovals at the ends and keep it floored, man. Nice. the Tmaxx 3.3 THS pipe, OS carburetor. Ooh, and out of fuel. I got it, man. It's getting hard to see, right? That's keeping it floored, man. Giving the little 3.3 a run for its money, man.